should work. Cool. All right, so let me just check on my other screen to make sure you guys can see that. Everything is good to go. Yes. All right, so tonight we're going to be sharing information on how to do a liver flush properly. Yeah. Now, before we start, I'd like to ask a question. I'm very curious. For those of you who haven't done a liver flush, you've never done one before. If you've never done a liver flush before, put a 1 in the chat now. If you've never done a liver flush before. Okay, quite a few people putting 1s. Okay, yeah, so quite a few of you never done a liver flush before. Never. Okay, all right. All right, so for all those people putting 1s in the chat, for everyone that's putting 1s in the chat, I've got one thing to say to you.
You're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn today.
All right, so what are you gonna learn today? So this is what we're gonna go through. You're gonna learn how to prepare a liver flush. Yeah, prepare for a liver flush, because we want to make it successful, and that's something I really want to speak about, because some people have done it and it hasn't been successful. So I want to make sure people understand what we're actually trying to do when we do a liver flush. So sometimes people do it, they go through the whole process, it's not a nice experience, and then it's not even successful at the end. So they get frustrated, irritated, that sort of thing. So we want to make sure that it's a successful one. And in order for it to be a successful liver flush, you need to prepare. And preparation is very easy. Literally, like 3 days preparation is enough. Yeah. Then we're going to go through how to do a liver flush, what to expect, and we'll touch on the best foods for the liver as well. All right, so let's get started. Oh, and at the end, when I open up the floor, I really do want you guys to share your experience. So if you have done the liver flush with the Hidden Science Academy before, yeah, as part of our VIP membership or as part of our group liver flush experience, then please share your experience, let people know, because I know there's going to be people, we just saw that the amount of 1s, so there's a lot of people that haven't done a liver flush before, so they may have heard about it and thought, nah, I can't do it. But if you guys share your experience, it will give them confidence to say, oh, it's not that bad, or oh, I reckon I can do that, or oh, I'm never doing that. Either way, you guys share your experience at the end. Yeah. All right, so before we get into how to do it and how to prepare, let's just go over some things that you guys should know with regards to where the liver is. So a bit of anatomy and physiology. So this is where the liver is. It's in the upper or mid-thoracic region, protected by the rib cage over to the right. Yeah. And what does it do? So these are all the functions of the liver. Let's start on the right there. So let's go over to the right. Storage of micronutrients. So your liver stores very important minerals like copper, zinc, magnesium, and iron. That means that if you have any issues with your liver, then you're going to have issues absorbing copper, zinc, magnesium, iron, and then vitamins A, D, E, K, and B12. Very, very important. Yeah. Blood sugar balance. So your liver stores glycogen. So anytime the body is low on glucose, the liver will release glycogen for that to be broken down and be utilized for the body for energy. So that's a very important thing. So if you have issues with your liver, then you're going to have issues with glucose and glycogen. Someone said, is it the recording is going to be sent out to attendees? Yes, indeed, definitely. So everyone will get the recording of this afterwards. If you're in our WhatsApp groups, we'll post it in our WhatsApp groups. If you're on our mailing list, then you'll get an email later about how you can access the replay. Production of bile needed for digestion. So yes, your liver's involved in digestion, GI antimicrobial. So anything with regards to breaking down what they call the bad bacteria in your gut, the production of bile is going to help with that from the liver. Yeah. And then protein synthesis. So your liver is involved in blood clotting, cholesterol transport, immune function, oncotic pressure, and copper bioavailability. Copper bioavailability is very important because we need copper, especially for pigmentation. So anytime you have an issue with copper, then you're going to have an issue with your pigmentation. You might have, you know, patches and that sort of stuff, or gray hairs and that sort of stuff. So very important stuff. Immune system contains viruses and pathogens. Maintenance of the hepatic and portal vein in the immune system. So your liver is involved. Your liver is kind of like the thing that filters out all of the toxins. So yes, it's going to have viruses and pathogens in there. Metabolism, conversion of T4 to T3. Those are thyroid hormones. So that's very important for our energy. And detoxification of fat. And speaking of detoxification, it also deals with the drugs that are in the body. So it tries to filter out the drugs, the medication and the hard drugs that people take, to ensure that the body's not harmed from them. Same with alcohol. It helps with getting rid of unwanted fatty acids and steroid hormones. And this one's very important, ammonia. Yeah, the body kind of produces ammonia if you're not eating the right sort of proteins, and the body gets rid of that ammonia through urea. So going to the toilet, doing the number one. But if you got any issue with your liver, then you're gonna have issues with ammonia in your body, and that is very dangerous. Yeah, that can lead to arthritis. That can lead to all the types of diseases that we see a lot of Black people suffering from. Environmental toxins and allergens, and then lastly, the production of cholesterol. Now, this one is super important, family. The production of cholesterol. So functions of the liver is involved in production of cholesterol. And people might be thinking, but cholesterol is a bad thing, isn't it? Why is the liver producing cholesterol? Well, if you've been following a lot of my lectures, you'll know that cholesterol is the precursor to all of our sex hormones. Every single one of them. So cholesterol is the precursor to testosterone. That means no cholesterol, guys, no testosterone. Cholesterol is the precursor to estrogen and progesterone, what they call the quote unquote female sex hormones. So no cholesterol, that means your hormones are going to be messed up. So if you have a problem with your liver, you're going to have a hormonal imbalance. It's just as simple as that. Yeah. And you may even have issues with fertility and that sort of stuff because you're dealing with your sex hormones here. And then lastly, speaking of hormones, vitamin D, which is a hormone, it's not a vitamin. Cholesterol is the precursor to vitamin D. And that's something that they never tell us. Yeah, that's something that they never tell us, that cholesterol is the precursor to vitamin D. And this is the process of our body producing vitamin D, which is very fitting considering the sun was out today. So I'm hoping that the family were out kind of absorbing those rays and getting their vitamin D top up. But this is how your body produces vitamin D. When your melanin is exposed to ultraviolet radiation, that bad thing that they like to talk about, yeah, your melanin absorbs that and then converts cholesterol into a vitamin D precursor. That vitamin D precursor goes through your liver and kidneys, and then it's actually your liver and kidneys that synthesize vitamin D. Now, that is very important to understand, because if you have any issue with your liver and or your kidneys, you're not going to be able to produce vitamin D, or you're going to have a lack of vitamin D, a deficiency, because your liver and kidneys literally synthesize vitamin D. So any issue with your liver and or your kidneys, you're not going to be able to produce vitamin D. It doesn't matter how long you stay outside in the sun. You could be outside butt naked. Your body's not going to be able to produce vitamin D because it needs your liver and kidneys. Now, how many people talk about liver and kidneys when they're talking about vitamin D? How many people do you know talk about liver and kidneys? Yeah. All right. So that's important to know, those functions. Yeah. And then what we need to understand is, if we were to look inside of it, still going with anatomy and physiology, they have these tiny sacs that contain what some people call gallstones, or some people call liver stones. Yeah. And this is just because the liver's involved in just filtering out all the toxins. So they're getting bundled up into these stones and being stored in the liver. Now, if they don't get released, or if it's the liver's overwhelmed, then your liver won't function at its optimum. And if your liver's not functioning at its optimum, all of these things that you see on the screen right now are going to suffer. Yeah. So we need to get these tiny little balls, what they call gallstones, or a lot of people just call them liver stones. We need to get these liver toxins out of the liver, literally reset the liver. Yeah. Now, I'm going to show you what they look like when they come out. I'm going to show you what they look like when they come out. Now, for those of you who don't like to see this type of stuff, I suggest you look away for the next 60 to 90 seconds, because I'm going to show you 2 pictures, maybe 3, of what they look like when they come out. So if you don't like that stuff, warning, look away now. So this is what they look like when they come out. There'll be various sizes, and what you'll find is that the more toxic your liver, the bigger the stones. The more toxic the liver, the bigger the stones. The less toxic the liver, the smaller the stones. So this is what they look like. And it's interesting, well, not interesting, but I know in the past when people have done it with us, some people say they didn't see it. And it may be that they didn't see it because it doesn't just come out just like this. It comes out with everything else. So it will come out with your normal bowel movements as well. And it might come out with watery stools as well, because when you do the liver flush, your stomach is rumbling. So it might be watery kind of diarrhea stools as well. So that means when you look back, you may or may not see them. Now, I'm someone who can kind of, because I've been doing it for such a long time, I can kind of feel when they're coming out because they don't feel like normal bowel movements. But I know some people who, when they get the flush, they want to know that it's successful. So they put on gloves and go searching for them. That's what they do. I'm just telling you. Again, when we open up the floor later, people can share their experiences. But in order for it to be a success, you need to get these stones out. In order for you to know, then you might have to go in there and get your gloves and see what's going on. And they are harder than your normal stools. So that's why they call them stones. They are a little bit harder. They're not as hard as stones. You can squeeze them, they'll crush in your hand, but they are a little bit harder. Yeah. So this is what they look like. Yeah. So this is a successful flush when you get these guys out. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Now, again, if you do have any questions, by all means, put them in the Q&A or put them in the chat and we will go to them. We might go to them during or straight after, because I'm just going to go through the instructions and then I want to open up the floor. Yeah. So if you do have any questions, let me know. Why is it green? That's because of the bile. So because of the bile in the liver, yeah, even when they show the gallbladder, look at that picture. It's kind of hard to see, but right underneath the liver, you can see that it's green, the gallbladder, and in there, the bile salts, like Gloria said, the bile salts are green. So that's how it's going to look inside of the liver. So that's how it's going to look when it comes out. Yeah. All right. So how do we prepare for our liver flush now? So now you know how to make it successful. You want these guys to come out. So how do we prepare for it now? So to prepare for it, first of all, we need to consume apples to loosen up this. Yeah. In order for us to get these out, first of all, we need to loosen up this sac, because if the liver is overwhelmed with toxins, this might be quite tight. So even if you do a liver flush, it might not release them. We need to first loosen this up. How do we loosen this up? We loosen them up with apples, because apples have a type of acid called malic acid. You guys can do your research on this. Apples have a type of acid called malic acid that helps to loosen up the stones. So it helps for the release when you actually do the liver flush. What type of apples? You could go with any, but there's more malic acid in the green apples. The really acidic, Granny Smith green apples, they're going to have more malic acid in them. So you could do 3 to 5 days of just eating or juicing green apples. 3 to 5 days. Yeah. It'd probably be more effective if you ate them. So how many a day? You could do maybe 3 a day. 3 green apples a day for 3 days is enough malic acid to prepare you for the liver flush. 3 green apples a day for 3 days, that's enough to prepare you for the liver flush. Other things that you can do in preparation, you can take apple cider vinegar. You can take like a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar morning and night. So first thing in the morning, empty stomach, last thing at night. That has some of the malic acid in it as well. And the acids are going to help to break things down and help with the flush once you do the flush. So apple cider vinegar, you can take a tablespoon in the morning and last thing at night as well. And here's what you're going to need for the flush. So you're going to need olive oil for the flush. Now, every time I do instruction videos, people are like, oh, what type of olive oil to get? I've done so many liver flushes in the past. Literally any olive oil will work. So some people, they'll go for the best quality olive oil. But I've used the one, these are just 2 brands. I've used the one on the left and it's worked. And I've used the one on the right. I've used organic extra virgin olive oil and that's worked as well. I've used olive oil from Sainsbury's, from Tesco's, like just any olive oil, because the thing is, it's not staying in your system for too long. Yeah. But you're going to need olive oil. So get yourself a liter of olive oil. That's in preparation. You're going to need some Epsom salt. Yeah. Again, when I usually do these instructions, people are like, okay, what type? Because when I go Sainsbury's, they've only got the bath salts. I've done so many liver flushes with so many different types of Epsom salt. All of them work. All of them. So you just need Epsom salt. Yeah. So the one on the left is more of a a brand. So it's going to be more expensive for you. So people can get that from wherever they want to get that from. But the one on the right, literally, that's something you can get on Amazon for like £2, $1.99, or you can just get a bag from your local chemist for $1.99. Yeah. So you're going to need some Epsom salt. Again, most of the Epsom salt works. If you get the bath salts, the salts are bigger. Like the grain is bigger, and I don't like doing it with the big grains, because what you're gonna do is put those salts, or just put 2 teaspoons in water and you're gonna drink that. And I don't like drinking it when the grain is quite big. So I like the finer grain. So if you can find Epsom salt with the finer grain, that will probably work better in the water. And I'm going to explain how to do it in a sec. Does kombucha work as well instead of apple cider? I'm not sure. I don't think so, though. You'd have to check to see if kombucha has malic acid. So just check that. Check to see if kombucha has malic acid. Just apples alone, like an apple fast, or can you eat other food as well as the 3 apples a day? You can eat other foods, but you want to eat as clean as possible. Yeah. You can eat other foods, but you want to eat as clean as possible. So you don't want anything heavy. You don't want anything fried during your lead up to the flush. So you just want light stuff. Yeah. Vegetable soup and, I don't know, quinoa with salad, lentils, something light. You don't want anything heavy. Meat is heavy. Fried stuff is heavy. Coffee is heavy, alcohol is heavy. You don't want anything heavy. So for 3 days, just get rid of all that stuff. Eat as healthy as you can, and then eat your 3 apples a day. That should be enough. Yeah. All right, family, here's the instructions. So Remember, for 3 days, you've ate at least 3 to 5 days, you've ate at least 3 apples a day, and you've taken your apple cider vinegar. That's in preparation. You're preparing the release of this. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to loosen this up, prepare it to release what we want it to release. All right. So you've done that for 3 to 5 days. Now, before the day before the flush. So let's put a day on it. I usually tell people choose a day where obviously you ain't really got a lot doing, you're not at work and that sort of stuff, because even though the flush is quick for, I'd say, less than 24 hours, you're going to have to be at home and near a toilet for less than 24 hours. So let's say, for example, we started the flush on Friday. So that means the flush would happen Saturday. This will all make sense when we go through the instructions. So the day before the flush, that's Friday. Yeah. Day before the flush is Friday. On the Friday, what you'll do is have a light breakfast. No food or juice after 12 p.m. Water is fine. So I'm just doing an example here. Let's say you started on a Friday. You'd have a light breakfast. No food or juice after 12 p.m. Water is fine. No water after 6 p.m. Then this is going to prepare you for the flush, because the flush happens the next day. But this is what you have to take to do the flush now. So it's Friday. We're about to take what we need to take to do the flush. At 7 p.m. on the Friday, or whatever day you decide to start it, take 2 teaspoons of Epsom salt in approximately 400 milliliters of water. Drink it fast. It's not going to taste good. You're not going to like it. Don't sip it. Drink it fast as you can. Yeah. 2 teaspoons of Epsom salt in approximately 400 milliliters of water. Drink it fast, family. Yeah. It's not going to taste nice at all. What you can do is straight after you finish it, you can drink some water to kind of get the taste out of your mouth, because you're not going to like that taste being in your mouth. So drink that fast, and then you can drink some water straight after. Yeah. Now, what you just done at 7 p.m., you're going to repeat that at 8 p.m. What temperature water? Room temperature. Good question. Room temperature water. Yeah. Yeah. Big up, Mike. Room temperature water. So take 2 teaspoons of Epsom salt in approximately 400 milliliters of water. Drink that fast. Then do that again at 8 p.m. Yeah. So we've taken 400 milliliters of water with the Epsom salt twice now. Between 8 and 9 p.m., you're going to make a concoction that has olive oil and citrus juice. So you're going to make an olive oil citrus juice mix, 400 milliliters. Now, the citrus juice can be 2 lemons juiced. Yeah. That's what I usually do, but I've been experimenting with other things as well. It has to be citrus juice, has to be the acid citrus juice. That helps with the flush. Yeah. So olive oil people usually do about 2 small lemons, juice that and mix it with the olive oil. If you can't take the lemon, you can try limes. You might have to do 3 limes just because the limes are smaller. So you juice those and you mix it with the olive oil. Or a lot of people have been finding success using grapefruits, 1 grapefruit, because you don't need a lot of juice. So you juice the grapefruit and then you mix that with the olive oil. A lot of people have been telling me that is easier to drink than mixing olive oil with the lemon. Yeah. So 400 milliliters. So that's a lot of oil. Between 8 and 9, you're making that mix. Then at 9 p.m., you drink half that mix. And then at 10 p.m., you drink the other half. As soon as you drink the other half, which means you finish the whole 400 milliliters, you go straight to bed. So whatever you need to do between 9 and 10 to prepare for bed, shower, brush your teeth, do all that sort of stuff, make sure you do that between 9 and 10, because at 10 p.m., after you drink that second half, you go straight to bed. And by the way, family, some people drink the whole 400 milliliters and then go straight to bed. So they don't have a break in between. They literally drink the whole 400 milliliters and then go straight to bed. So you could either do it that way. You could do half at 9, half at 10, or if you're a soldier, you could try and drink the whole thing. Yeah, the whole thing. Question, what's the ratio to the olive to the citrus? So the olive oil is going to be 400. No, wait. Yeah, 400 milliliters. Sorry. The olive oil is going to be 400 milliliters. And then you just add the juice on top of it. Because if you're juicing 2 lemons, you're not going to get a lot of juice out of that. So it will bring it up to a little bit above 400 milliliters. If that's too much, then you just do, I don't know, 375 milliliters of olive oil and then top it up with the juice. But it's going to be mainly olive oil. So good question. It's going to be mainly olive oil. So try and get the 400 milliliters of olive oil and then just put the juice in. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, we're going to go through Q&A in a sec. So you drink the first half, then you drink the other half, and you go straight to bed. When you go straight to bed, lie on your right side. All right, let me show you this. So this is what I do regularly. So this is my setup. So you can see the Epsom salt on the left there. So I put the 2 teaspoons just in a small glass, drink that in preparation, drink that at 7, drink that at 8. And then look at that, I've got a glass bottle, yeah? And you can see the lemon juice right at the bottom, just go straight to the bottom. Look how much olive oil, look how much oil is in that bottle. So yeah, it might go over 400 milliliters because the lemon kind of brings it up. You can see the lemon juice at the bottom there, just sitting at the bottom. So you need to shake it up a little bit, shake it up so it kind of mixes it up. Or when you start to drink it, you're just going to be drinking oil and then the lemon juice is at the bottom. So shake it up, mix it up, and then this is what you're going to be drinking. Is grapefruit a good idea if you're on blood pressure tablets? Which state no eating grapefruit? Good question. No, it isn't. No. So we're going to talk about that in the Q&A, talk about some contraindications. So yeah, it's not a great idea if you are on blood pressure lowering or blood thinning medication, because that is a contraindication. How much apple cider vinegar? We said a teaspoon. Apple cider vinegar is used as the preparation. So apple cider vinegar would be a teaspoon in the morning and a teaspoon, or no, sorry, tablespoon in the morning, tablespoon in the evening. Yeah. If you're saying how much lemon juice, again, if you just look at my one there, I've juiced 2 lemons, 2 small lemons. So you're not getting a lot, but you just juice 2 small lemons or a couple limes, 3 limes or 1 grapefruit. Yeah, it just needs to be citrus juice with the olive oil. Would aloe vera juice cleanse the liver? It would definitely help. Aloe vera would definitely help. Yes, yes, but you'd have to drink a lot. The aloe vera would have to be as big as this. The aloe vera juice would have to be as big as this in order for it to really cleanse the liver. Is the apple cider vinegar in a glass of water or neat? That would be a personal decision. If it's neat, big up the people that do it neat, but it might be a bit too strong for some people. So yeah, you can put the tablespoon in just a small glass, like a shot glass, and just take it as a shot. Yeah, just try it out. Take it as a shot with a little bit of water. If you drink half at 9 p.m, then the other half at 10 p.m, should it be put in the fridge in between? No, it doesn't have to be put in the fridge in between. Josephine said, mind the teeth enamel. Yes, good point. Some people, they can't take it. I remember when I first started doing it, I couldn't just drink it. I couldn't just take it like this. It was too much. So what I started to do, I got some, you know, those steel straws. You can get them from Amazon or wherever. Those steel straws, and I'd just drink it through a straw. It takes longer to get through it though. That's the only thing. Yeah. So it's however you reckon. Yeah, those metal straws. The metal straws, I tried that. But now I've been doing it so much that I can just take it down. Yeah. What about oranges? Do you know what? I've never tried it. I've never tried it with oranges. I don't know if the oranges would be acidic enough. I know obviously oranges are citrus, but yeah, the lemons and the limes, they're powerful. So yeah, I don't know. I've never tried it with orange. If anyone has tried doing the liver flush and using orange juice as the citrus, please let us know in the chat. All right, so when you go to bed, this is how you got to do it, yeah? When you go to bed, you got to lie on your right side. Why your right side? Because that's where your liver is, yeah? And when you lie on your right side, you want to curl yourself up into like a ball, like literally bring your knees as close to your chest as possible. That's going to help with, crunching that area and kind of releasing the stones. Literally, if you've done this properly, you'll start to feel the stones rolling as soon as you get into this position. You'll literally start to feel some rumbling going on in your stomach, and then you'll literally feel the rumbling of the stones rolling and something happening. Now you're going to, if this is your first time, you're going to feel quite nauseous doing this, yeah? So if you feel like you're going to vomit or you feel very sick, you can chew on like a little thumb of ginger, like a little bit of ginger, chew on that, and that kind of helps with subside the nausea feeling. But yeah, you're going to be feeling sick and you might need to go toilet. You might need to go toilet. So you go and whatever you release will just be your normal bowel movement or whatever you ate that day or whatever you ate the day before. It's not going to be the flush. The flush happens the next day. Yeah. It might be watery, but it won't be the flush. Yeah. The flush will happen the next day. So go straight to bed, roll yourself up like this, try and get a good enough night's sleep. How often does one do a liver flush? I'd say at least once a year. That's the reason why I like doing it as a group once a year. So we've been doing it once a year. Me personally, I've done it. There was a time where my liver was extremely toxic. There was a time, and we'll go into this in the Q&A, how you know when your liver is extremely toxic. One way to know is skin conditions. So one way to know that you've got an extremely toxic liver is you got skin rashes, itching, all that sort of stuff, any skin condition, yeah? Even issues with the sun, because again, if your liver's toxic, that means your body's not producing vitamin D, that means your immune system's down, you might even have issues with the sun. So there's various ways to know that your liver is toxic. But yeah, there was a time when my liver was extremely toxic. Another way, let me just put this in there before I forget. Another way to know that your liver is toxic is it affects your sleep. So there was a time when I used to be waking up every night at 2 a.m. every night without fail, or between 2 and 2:30. I'd just wake up and just be irritable and that sort of stuff. Turns out that between, is it 1 and 2 or 2 or 3? I think it's between 2 and 3. That's when your body starts to detox your liver. So when we're sleeping, every organ goes through a detoxification process. When we're sleeping, that's when the body's resetting everything. Yeah. So between 2 and 3, I think it was between 2 and 3. I'd have to look at my chart. But yeah, between 2 and 3, that's when the body starts to really try to detox the liver. And if it's overwhelmed, then it will literally wake you up. Like yeah. So that was happening to me. So this was over 10 years ago. But there were times when I was doing the liver flush once a week for like a month. I was doing it often. But Joyce said, I can see a relationship between the liver, vitamin D, and diabetics. Definitely, yes. People are starting to put 2 and 2 together now. Yes, this is so important because this is the information that they don't tell us, family. Black people are more likely to suffer from type 2 diabetes. Black people are more likely to have low vitamin D and all this sort of stuff. And then they say, Black people are more likely to have high cholesterol. So make sure you get on a cholesterol lowering drug. You get on a cholesterol lowering drug, that means no vitamin D, because cholesterol is the precursor to vitamin D. So most of these medications mess up our cholesterol, most of them, yeah? So when they mess up our when the medication messes up our cholesterol, all of a sudden we don't have vitamin D, the livers can't produce it. And now our immune system's down. Now we're susceptible to this disease, that disease, this disease, that disease. And then these people turn around and say, Black people are more likely to suffer from this, that, and the third. And then you ask them, why are Black people more likely to suffer from this, that, and the third? We're not sure. We don't know. It's just a complete mystery. Your health is just such a complete mystery to us. And this is why this information is so, so important. Big up Mel, she said, my skin looks beautiful now. Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you very much. I'll take that compliment. Been working hard, you know, try to flush out the liver and thing, amongst other things, but yeah, it's working. So thank you. Does the liver flush help with underactive thyroid? Yes, definitely. Sorry I'm late. What ingredients are used for the liver flush? So we're gonna go through that when we do the Q&A, because this is being recorded, so you guys will get to see the replay. Thank you, D. 1 to 2. So it was between 1 to 2 what I kept on waking up, linked with the liver. So between 1 and 2, I kept on waking up. This was years and years ago. And I was like, why am I keep on waking up between 1 and 2? Like, it would be clockwork every night. Doesn't matter what time I went to bed. So yeah, that's to do with the liver. All right, let's finish up, because I can see that there's a lot of questions, family. So let's finish up and then I'll open up the floor so you guys can ask your questions live. So when you go straight to bed, you're rolling up like this. You can put a pillow between your legs if you want, if that's more comfortable. You don't have to, but you're on the right side, and then try not to move. Literally don't move. Even if you hear your stomach going crazy, even if you want to go toilet, try not to move for at least 20 minutes. Try not to move. Very important. The liver's doing a lot of stuff. Yeah. Good question. Can teenager can do that? Can teenagers do it? Yeah. Teenagers can do it. Teenagers can do it. Yeah. The only thing that the parent or whoever's the guardian needs to regulate and needs to be cautious of is how they're going to respond to how sick they're going to feel. Because some people overreact. I'm sure you guys know this from maybe your own experience or just family members' experience. When someone's sick, some people overreact. Yeah, you feel bad, but some people overreact and make it seem like they're dying and make it seem like it's the worst thing in the world. That's going to make the liver flush even worse. If you know what to expect and you know you're going to feel sick, then you just accept it. Yeah, I'm going to feel sick. Yeah, I don't like this feeling, but it doesn't last for long. So yeah, we're still on the Friday, fam. We're still on the Friday. So you roll yourself up like this. Don't move for 20 minutes. Then if you need to go toilet, go back to bed, roll yourself up like this, and then set your alarm for 6 a.m. At 6 a.m., you wake up and take the Epsom salt with water again. So let me just go back. This is what you're doing. Again, I've just done an example of saying the Friday. This is what you're doing on the Friday. You're taking 2 teaspoons of Epsom salt in approximately 400 milliliters of water. That will help to loosen things up. Remember, Epsom salt, family, that's magnesium. Magnesium relaxes things. Remember, magnesium relaxes things. So we're taking this Epsom salt drink, this water, to relax like your digestive tract. Yeah, so everything just runs through very smoothly. In the morning, the day after, so in my example, that would be the Saturday morning, you take the 2 teaspoons of Epsom salt in approximately 400 milliliters of water at 6 a.m. Yeah. So you take the 2 teaspoons of Epsom salt at 6 a.m. And then shortly after that, the flush should start. Shortly after that, the flush should start. So within 2 hours, the flush should start. You should be going to the toilet, and it will be like diarrhea firstly. So the first movement, bowel movement, might just be, again, what you ate the day before or the couple of days before, and you will be going often. Yeah, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe more. Yeah, but we need to talk about what happens if you take the Epsom salt in the morning, 6 a.m., and you don't go. like you just got a stomach ache, you just got a belly ache, your belly's going mad, but you're not going. Yeah. And this has happened a lot, again, through other people sharing their experience. They're saying, yeah, I took the Epsom salt in the morning and then nothing happened. I was like, what's going on? So here's what you do, family. If you take the Epsom salt in the morning, 6 a.m., and within 2 hours, you don't go, the flush doesn't start. So if the flush doesn't start within 2 hours, you have two options. The first option is at 8 a.m., you take the Epsom salt water again. So if the flush doesn't start, family, at 8 a.m., you take the Epsom salt water again. So that would mean that you would have taken it on the Friday at 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. in preparation. Then on the Saturday morning at 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. That would be enough to get things moving. Or, and a lot of people have success this way, or if you really can't take, because I don't like doing it twice in the morning, it's just terrible. Yeah. If you really can't take the Epsom salt water again after 6 a.m., what you can do is have yourself a big breakfast. Have yourself a big fruit breakfast. Have yourself a big fruit breakfast at 8 a.m. or 7:30 or whatever. Have yourself a big fruit breakfast. So a big fruit breakfast would mean like, I don't know, 10 bananas, literally 10 bananas, or a whole papaya, 2 papayas, or, you know, a melon, honeydew melon, or another melon, something big, but fruit though. So you don't want to have like, you know, the classic English breakfast, bacon, eggs, and all that. You don't want that. You don't want to eat that first thing in the morning after what you did the night before. You want a big fruit breakfast, and trust me, after you consume that, probably during you consume these fruits, you'll go. That will start the flush. Yeah. And then what you'll be doing is just flushing throughout the day. And usually, I shouldn't say usually, it should only go on to about halfway through the day. So maybe 12, 1, 2, 3 in the afternoon. So it started at 6 a.m. by 12, 1, 2, or 3, hopefully it should be finished. I know some people say, oh, mine didn't finish until 6 p.m. and that sort of stuff. Sometimes it goes on a little bit longer. But yeah, the flush would just mean you'll be going toilet. And like the name suggests, you'll be flushing, literally be coming out like kind of watery, but you'll be feeling the stools, and you'll be feeling, hopefully, if it's a success, you'll be feeling the stones coming out as well. And you can look back and see if it's been a success. If you can't see it, if you just see too much of, you know, your stools and that sort of stuff, if you're an explorer, you can put on your gloves and go in there and see if it's been a success. Because in order for it to be a success, you want to get the stones out. And then after that, now, after the flush is finished, you go back to eating very lightly. Yeah. So Marva said, is callaloo an option? Yeah. Once the flush is finished, light foods. Yeah. So plant foods. So fruits, or a vegetable soup or a salad or something like that, quinoa, something light. Yeah. And really think about changing your diet if it was quite a stressful experience, because if the stones come out quite big, that means that your liver was quite toxic. Yeah. If the stones come out quite big, it means your liver, usually the stones will come out small and there's loads of them, but if they're coming out really big, you know, like a battery, that means your liver was under a lot of pressure. Yeah. So really think about changing your diet, and we can help as well. So I work with a nutritionist. She can put together a meal plan for you to kind of change your diet after you do the liver flush. Yeah. So these are certain things that you need as well, because chances are if your liver was under pressure, that means you have issues with digestion. Because remember that one of the functions of the liver is to release bile that helps with fat digestion, and it helps your liver releases things that help with protein digestion as well. And if your body's not really digesting protein, then there's going to be a backup. There's going to be blockages in your digestive tract. So foods to eat after the liver flush are things like this. So papaya, all of these foods that I'm showing you are great for digestion, and they have very, very powerful enzymes. Enzymes are things that help to break down things, digest, foods in our system and that sort of stuff. Very, very important. So papaya has an enzyme called papain, excellent to break down proteins, can be found in the fruit or as supplements. It's always better to go with the fruit. Lipase is a very powerful enzyme. You can find that in papaya and aloe vera. There's an enzyme called glutathione peroxidase. You find that in asparagus. That helps to improve the liver's function. Zingiberine, don't know if I said that correctly, but that's in ginger. That's an enzyme that's in ginger. It is great for preventing indigestion, especially after eating a lot of protein. You've got an enzyme in garlic and a very powerful enzyme in pineapple. Also, anything that's extremely bitter is going to be good for your liver. So bitter melon, which is some class it as a fruit, some class it as a vegetable, that's going to be really good for your liver. And bitter, very bitter teas like wormwood, cascara, very bitter teas are going to be really good for your liver as well. Yeah. So before we continue, let's open up the floor and do a Q&A, because that was a lot of information. I know for the people who have never done it before, you might have a lot of questions. So let's go into them. Raise your hand if you want to ask your question live. You can ask your question in the Q&A, but raise your hand if you want to ask your question live. Yeah, Sericity tea is a very good one for your liver as well. Anything that's really bitter is going to be really good for your liver as well. Raise your hand if you want to ask your question. I'll come to you and then you can ask your question live. Remember, family, this is going to be really helpful for people who have never done it before. So raise your hand if you have a question, or raise your hand if you want to share your experience. Good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't matter. I've had some bad experiences that they haven't all been good. So raise your hand, share your experience, whether it's been good, bad, or indifferent, because all you're going to do is just share information. It's going to help other people make a decision about what they want to do with regards to this stuff. Yeah. So let's see if we can get Joyce. You can unmute your mic and ask your question, make your comment. If not Joyce, then Bianca. Bianca.
Hi, Leon. Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
When we speak about raw food diet, is that just greens, but just sauteed or steamed? Or is it just like how we would normally have our greens? I think I'm getting confused when we say raw. Raw to me means steamed, like not fully cooked, just simmered.
Yeah, good question. Raw just means uncooked. Yeah. And sometimes I don't like some of the terms that they use with regards to certain foods. Like, for example, I hate the term vegan. It just doesn't make sense. I don't like the term vegan. And even plant-based now, they use these terms and then they kind of switch them and make them confusing. So now you've got plant-based burgers and plant-based this and plant-based junk food and plant-based. So raw is supposed to mean uncooked. Raw, uncooked. That means not steamed. Literally, like from when you're eating it in its natural state, that's raw. So if you're eating fruits and vegetables in their natural state, that would be raw. Yeah. However, again, sometimes I don't really like certain terms that they use. I like what Dr. Aris Latham, I like how he explains raw food. He says that raw food is not raw at all, because raw means uncooked. He says that raw food is food that has been cooked by the sun.
Right.
Food that has been cooked by the sun is raw food. So that means your fruits. Your fruits are higher towards the sun, so they're being cooked by the sun. He says the cooking process is the preparation, the growing process. So once the fruit is ready, it drops from the tree. Now it's ready to be eaten. It's according to Dr. Aris Latham, he says that is the sun is the ultimate chef. It cooks all our food. It prepares all of our food. Yeah. So that's raw food, like food that has just been prepared by the sun and is out in Mother Nature. Yeah. So anything that we do to it, whether we heat it up or, process it in some way, then it's not raw. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I was thinking, so like if we had broccoli, for example, we wash it. Can we eat it raw without it kind of upsetting our stomach? Or
Some people do, and these are really good questions because our digestive system, our liver, our kidneys, they've been under attack. They've been, for the people that have done my Black Holistic Health course, I always say that we live in an obesogenic environment. We live in an obesogenic environment, an environment that promotes an unhealthy lifestyle to us. So whether you're conscious of it or not, at some point you might fall victim to it. Yeah. Whether it's the water we drink that we think is healthy, whether it's the fruits that are not actually fruits because they don't have seeds in it, or whether it's the food that we're eating, all the processed foods and all that sort of stuff. So that damages a lot of stuff inside of us, liver, kidneys, and our digestive tract. Now, when our digestive tract is damaged, that means our gut microbiome is kind of messed up. And all that means is we don't have enough good bacteria. So the bad bacteria outweigh the good bacteria. That means that when we do eat raw food, the body can't digest it because it doesn't have the enzymes and it doesn't have the bacteria to digest it. And what is funny is that because our gut microbiome has been attacked, basically, so it's not how it should be, when we do try to eat these foods, we struggle. So like you say, could I eat like broccoli raw, or could I eat certain vegetables raw? You could, but you'd have to reset not only your gut microbiome, but yeah, your liver and that sort of stuff. So that's the reason why doing flushes, doing cleanses, doing juice fasts, it kind of resets the body. Now you can consume these foods without them giving you problems. Now, if you don't, what happens is you consume fruit and there's a lot of fermentation, and now all of a sudden you're bloated, or you consume a lot of vegetables. This has happened with me, like with kale or celery or spinach or any other dark green leafy vegetable, and I'm bloated. I'm like, my body can't even take this. So you have to go through a process of kind of resetting your digestive tract, resetting your liver and kidneys, and then bringing in those raw foods. Because if not, you're gonna, and when I say you, I mean everyone's gonna struggle with raw foods. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Leon. Thanks for that.
Thank you. All right. Joyce, are you there? If not, Tasholo fellow.
Oh, hi everyone, and hi Leon.
Hiya, how are you? Hello? You still there?
Oh, good, thanks. Thanks for yes. Like, do you suggest that a person stops eating meat in totality after the flush? And what about also dairy?
Good questions. So meat and dairy. So meat is very heavy. Yeah, meat is very heavy. And meat, the protein in it, because people eat meat for protein, the protein is very hard to break down. Now, this is where we really need to know, like, the science of human beings and melanin and the difference between Black people and other people. Other people have enzymes that help them break down meat. So if you go back in history, you'll see that they were eating meat and hunting, killing meat and eating meat. You could even argue they've been eating meat raw for a long time, like literally killing it, not doing too much to it and eating it. That's not our history. We come from a tropical, and if you believe that we all come from Africa, then we come from the equator, where fruit isn't, or food is in abundance. Again, the sun provides everything we need, so fruit is in abundance. So why, if we have fruit in abundance, why then our fruits are literally dropping from the trees, they're all around us? Why are we going to jump over that food that tastes amazing and go run down an animal and kill it to eat it? It just doesn't make sense. I'm just going with history. So it's very important for us to understand that we as Black people, we don't have the right enzymes to help to digest meat. So even though we can, it is more difficult for us to digest meat. Does that mean we shouldn't? That's a personal decision. Now, for people who are struggling with health issues, especially when it comes to digestive issues, then yes, potentially giving up meat would be a good idea, because those undigested proteins are what is causing you problems in your liver, in your digestive tract, your small intestines, large intestines. It's those undigested proteins that is causing the issue. Yeah. So getting those out, or the slide that I showed where it had all the enzymes, getting those enzymes in you so it helps to break down those proteins is definitely going to help with digestion. But again, the question of should I or should I not, that would be a personal decision. Now, I like to make decisions based on science and, history and that sort of stuff. So for me, it just logically makes more sense to eat foods provided by the sun, because I'm a sun being. Yeah. So it just logically makes sense for me to do that. But with regards to dairy now again, I go with the science. There's a lot of science to suggest that dairy is one of the #1 causes for things like eczema, asthma, hay fever, all of these irritating allergies that people have is because of the dairy. And again, the dairy is the milk from the animal, the milk from the cow. And again, we just don't have the enzymes. We don't have the biochemistry, the physiology to break that down. And that's the reason why you'll hear the experts say Black people are lactose intolerant. A lot of Black people are lactose intolerant. Not because that's a bad thing. It's because we just weren't designed to consume animal milk. And a lot of people, once they remove the dairy, their skin improves, their allergies improve. So I'm always about going with the science, and science to me is logic backed up by evidence. So do it as an experiment. For the people who do suffer from eczema, cut out dairy and cut out meat for a little while and see how well that does.
Oh, sorry, Leon, and sorry, the last one is just nuts. How do you feel about that? And to support you, because I'm from South Africa, and in precise Pretoria, fruits are in abundance.
Yeah.
Like they are in abundance. Like papaya is growing in my yard around 50. The other side is other fruits. It's like it's just naturally grows, as you said.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely in abundance. So why would we not take advantage of that and utilize that? But yeah, all of these other things, they're literally going to be a personal decision with regards to dairy and meat. But I would say, yeah, do some research and not even do some research, because sometimes when it comes to science, I say this all the time, science is simple because you are the science, you are the evidence. So instead of doing a lot of research, because that's what science is about now. Oh, where's that study from? Where's this study from? Sometimes we don't need to check studies and check what the experts are saying. We just have to go with how we feel. So that's what I did when I was suffering from eczema years back. And then I read about, meat and dairy, and then I cut that out. And then within 30 days, I'd got rid of my eczema, my hay fever, all my allergies. I was like, okay, well, there's the evidence. I'm the evidence. Sometimes we don't need to go to the experts and the science and all that sort of stuff. Well, thank you for that, sis, all the way from South Africa. All right, anyone else? Carol, you can unmute your mic. If not, Carol. Joyce, did you raise your hand again? Joyce? If not Joyce, then Abimbola. So all the people that have raised their hand, I've allowed you to talk. So
hello, can you hear me?
Greetings, yes, we can hear you.
Hello,
sis.
Leon, how are you?
I'm very well.
Yeah, one thing. If you've got high blood pressure, it's obviously a liver flush good for that.
Yeah.
To lower it.
Yeah. So you can't just rely on the liver flush to lower it.
Oh no.
So the things that you do before are going to help as well. So remember, to lead up to it, you want to make sure that you're eating as healthy as possible and eating the Granny Smith apples. That's going to help to lower it. Drinking lots and lots of water, just naturally helps to lower it. Yeah. And then after you've done the liver flush, yeah, hopefully your liver's functioning better after the liver flush. Then you gotta go into the vitamin D side of it. Remember, your liver and your kidneys synthesize vitamin D.
Yeah.
And vitamin D, cholesterol is the precursor to vitamin D. So I always say to people, the best way to lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol is to literally be out in the sun. Literally be out in the sun. Yeah. Because the UVB rays are going to help your body convert cholesterol into vitamin D. So that's going to help with all the high cholesterol people. And then the UVA rays, they're going to help your skin produce nitric oxide. And that helps to vasodilate your blood vessels, which means expand them to allow more oxygenated blood to go through. So it's a win-win when we're out in the sun. Yeah.
And also when you said about you had a fruit breakfast after when you've gone through the motions, if there's an issue. If you're borderline diabetic, 10 bananas is quite a lot, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So because I'm thinking about the amount of sugar content in that.
Yeah. So this is why I really think we need a lot of educating on raw foods, or what Dr. Islam calls raw foods, because again, you listen to the experts and they'll tell you don't eat fruits, they're high in sugar and it's so dangerous. You got type 2 diabetes, when really, and I didn't even know this until recently, certain fruits don't spike your insulin levels like foods.
Yeah.
So fruits don't, even though fruits are high in sugar, they don't spike your insulin levels because of the type of sugar. They literally bypass insulin and go straight into the cells, bypass insulin. So the whole point of diabetes is it's a hormonal problem. Insulin is a hormone. So anything that messes up your hormone is going to lead to all of these diseases like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all of these things. But sugars don't mess up your hormones because they bypass insulin. Fruits don't mess up your hormones because they bypass insulin.
Okay.
Fruits. Yeah.
And also, there was just one, is it right? One more?
Yeah, sure.
I'm doing, I've got to speak to my doctor on, I think, Wednesday this week with regard to my high cholesterol, but I've done research on statins, and I know they can cause major problems with the side effects. So, I know the doctor's going to blind me with science, but I want to try and equate that. So, because I'm doing an umpiring certificate in November, and I've got to be fit for that. So it's the lead up to that. And if I go on statins, I know that will just regress. You just know it.
Yeah.
So apart from the detox, apart from the liver flush, is there anything else that one can do to lower cholesterol?
Well, again, I work with a sister named Natel. She's been on the platform before. Really good. I've referred certain clients to her, and she's been excellent at reversing all types of conditions, whether it's been high cholesterol, high blood pressure. She's even been able to reverse some of the scarier conditions, like the big C. Now, Again, you know, the powers that be may be watching, but the big C, there's two big C's. If you think about it, there's two big C's, and she's been successful in reversing both of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her information up on the slide right now for anyone who wants to get in contact with her. Yeah, because this will be
and
a
what
good...
was the sorry, one more thing, sorry.
Yeah,
the one who called Dr. Latham, can you put his details up as well so one can read the research?
Okay.
When you called that food cooked by the sun. Yeah,
his name is Dr. Aris Latam, and all he eats is raw food or raw food, food cooked by the sun. So you guys can check him out on YouTube. He's got loads of YouTube videos. He's got a retreat in Panama. I think it's Panama. He's got a retreat in Panama. That's where he lives, and he does retreats and lectures and courses and that sort of stuff. So yeah, someone who really knows their stuff with regards to the foods that we should be eating. Yeah. Oh yes, and Heather bigged up my book, The Hidden Sites of Melanin. Yeah, family, we need to know this information, because when we know this information, that arms us. It's literally our armor for when we do go out there and they're trying to confuse us with the science, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
You know, we don't really study the science, so they confuse us with the science. So they'll say, oh, you can't take grapefruits. Grapefruits are going to be dangerous for you, which they are if you're on medication. And then they say, don't go in the sun. Don't go in the sun. Sun's not going to help you. So all the people who have eye issues, guess what the experts are going to tell you? Don't go in the sun. All the people who have skin issues, guess what the experts are going to tell you? Don't go in the sun. But yeah, you read my book and you realize, hold on, the sun is like the most important thing for my melanin. And all the experts keep on saying, don't go in the sun, don't go in the sun, don't go in the sun. And again, going back to my last point, because we live in this obesogenic environment, so our liver, our kidneys, our digestive system's not how it should be. When we do go out in the sun, we prove them right. When we do go out in the sun, we get bun. And then we're like, oh yeah, the doctor said I shouldn't go out in the sun. The doctor said I should be wearing sunscreen. So we prove them right because we live in this obesogenic environment, not realizing that if we were in our natural habitat, or we were eating the foods that we should be eating, we'd have no issue with the sun. None, no issue with the sun. There's no reason for anyone to be wearing sunscreen if we were in our natural habitat. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sis. All right, so there are other questions. Keep on raising your hand, family, or put your question in the Q&A. But let me just share Natel's details, because for people who want to do the liver flush, there's no point. Well, there's not no point, but I know it makes more sense for you to change things after you do the liver flush, as opposed to you do the liver flush and then you go back to living exactly the same way you were living, eating exactly the same way you were eating, and retoxing basically. So you detox and then retox and detox and then retox. So let me just share her details. Oh, and another thing as well that will help after the liver flush, I forgot to mention this as well. After the liver flush, we may not get out all of the stones, because some of them are very small. They might still be in our digestive system. They might still be in our large intestines. Yeah. So a couple of things that you could do. And I know this is not popular, but you could do an enema to get out the rest of the stones. Yeah. An enema after you do the liver flush to get out the stones, because you don't want those stones staying in your large intestines. Or, and this might be an easier way, or you do a parasite cleanse using some very powerful cleansing herbs, like a colon cleanse. Yeah. So let me just share that with the family. Whoops. All right, so this is something that you can get. This is what the Hidden Sites Academy have on offer. It's called a Parasite Cleanse Combo. It's got 2 of the most powerful herbs that you can use to cleanse your colon, which is very important after you do the liver flush, because you might still have some of the stones in there. So it's got wormwood and cascara, very, very, very bitter herbs. They help to not only reset the liver, but they're cleansing out the colon as well. Yeah, I'm gonna put the link. Oh, my sister or admin, can you put the link in the chat for the parasite cleanse combo? So admin or my sister, can you put the link in the chat for the parasite cleanse combo? Are the products available internationally? Yes, they are. There you go, the parasite cleanse combo. So you guys can get that. If that's very important for you guys to utilize straight after you do the liver flush. Yeah. And then this is Natel's program. Again, I have referred a lot of my clients to Natel, and she's been doing an amazing job. Natel is someone who's been on the platform before. She was one of the special guests on our detoxification webinar. And she does these very powerful health programs. She's a nutritionist, a holistic nutritionist. And this is one of her programs. And they usually cost more. So this for $3.99, look what you're getting. She does very powerful meal plans, plant food meal plans, or what people call plant-based, plant food meal plans, stress management plan as well, which is very important when you're trying to change your diet, change your lifestyle. Usually it's the stress that's causing us health issues. So that will be part of the program, stress management, ongoing support. So she'll be supporting you through this program, cleansing and detoxing, giving you the right herbs, what you need, natural treatment plans. She'll be breaking down everything, free herbal tea, food tolerance home kit, home test kit. So you guys can find out what you're actually intolerant to. Very important information going forward, because sometimes we don't even know what we're intolerant to and we keep on eating those same foods. Reverse illness program. Again, she's been able to reverse the big C, both of them. Put 2 and 2 together, the big C, she's been reversing both of them. Yeah. And then natural treatment remedies included. So that's for people who are interested. So you can contact her. My sister, if you can just put her details in the chat. So we'll put her details in the chat in a second. My sister can do that. And then, yeah, so for people who are really, really interested in changing after the liver flush, then think about doing a program. I do scans as well. So if anyone wants to really figure out what's going on inside of their body, then get in contact with me and I can put together a scan. That's UK only though. I do scans in the UK only though. South London only though, I should say. Yeah. So if you're really, because again, people do liver flushes or they do some type of detox and then they literally go back to eating the same sort of foods, living the same sort of life and wondering why that issue that they were trying to get rid of is still there. Yeah. So for those of you who are serious, then these are the things that you can do. So you've got the link for the parasite colon cleanse, and my sister's gonna put in the information for Natel. And with regards to raw food, family, again, check out Dr. Aris Latham and check out his teachings where he says it's not really raw, it's raw. It's the food's getting charged up by the sun. The way he breaks it down is so powerful. He says that the fruits, if you just think about it, the fruits are higher up on the tree. So they're getting charged, so they're closer to the sun. So they're getting charged up by the sun electrically. So they're electric food. So when Dr. Sebi talks about we need to be on an electric food diet, that's your fruits. That's literally your fruits. Literally nothing else is more electric than the fruits. And then the magnetic food would be the vegetables. They're lower down. They're the grounding foods. So grounding. So we need to be consuming electromagnetic foods. Why? Because like Dr. Sebi said, the body is electromagnetic. The body runs on electricity and magnetism holds everything. It holds information. Yeah. So every time there's an electric current, there's going to be a magnetic field around it. Some people will call our magnetic field our aura. But either way, we are electromagnetic, so we need to be eating the raw foods. And with that being said, family, that's why we've put together a raw melanin retreat. So big up the people who have been showing their interest to this. This is the first ever that we've been doing this, like that we've put this out, yeah? So the first ever raw melanin retreat that the Hidden Science Academy are going to be doing is going to be in Jamaica in November, family. Jamaica in November. So if my sister can post the link for the raw melanin retreat. And I'm not going to say too much, family, but just check out this video. I know there's questions. We're going to go back to the questions after this, but just check out this video. And I'm just going to show you where we're going to be staying at the raw melanin retreat. So this is Jamaica, Portland, Jamaica. Check this out. So there you have it, family. How did that look? Can you imagine? We're going to be out there this November, family. So you don't want to miss that. That is going to be amazing. And at that retreat, we're going to be teaching you guys not only about raw food, but how to make your own like raw food meals and that sort of stuff. So it's going to be very powerful information. We're going to teach you how to make raw foods. And if you watch Dr. Aris Latham, and you watch his retreats, because sometimes he does them on Instagram, like he'll just go Instagram live, or he's got a lot of videos on YouTube, you'll realize that that is the most amazing food in the world. The way they present it. Dr. Aris Latham, I'll put his name in the chat again. You guys do your research again. He's on YouTube. He's got loads of videos on YouTube. He has his own retreat in Panama. Yeah, and his knowledge is just amazing, and it's from him just understanding that we're electric beings. The sun kind of charges up the food for us, so we don't really we just need to be consuming the sun's food, raw food, or what other people call raw food. Yeah, and again, if we don't go through a transition phase, then we're all going to struggle when it comes to eating the right type of food. The transitioning is cleansing your liver, cleansing your colon, you know, changing your lifestyle, changing your diet. Then when you eat the raw foods now, not only does it taste great, but you're able to digest them easily, as opposed to what's happened to me is loads of issues with the raw food, whether it's bloating or, you know, just the body not being able to digest it or assimilate those nutrients and that sort of stuff. Yeah. All right, let's see who else. All right, I'm going to lower everyone's hands. If you have a question, now is your chance to go live and ask it. Raise your hand now if you want to ask a question about the liver flush. Let me go into the Q&A and see what questions we got there. How many times per year should the liver flush be done? Is it necessary to do an alimentary tract flush before or after the liver flush? So I've answered the second question. The colon flush should happen afterwards, because after you do the liver flush, you might still have the stones in there. So you do the colon flush to flush out all the stones. That's the second question. The first question, how many times per year? So yeah, at least once a year. That's the reason why I like to do this as an annual thing. But it depends on how toxic your liver is. So if you do it once and you're getting out big stones, you might want to do it again that year. You might want to have to do it once a month. And if it's really successful and you're doing it often, like, I don't know, once a month or once every 3 months, what you should see is that the size of the stones starts to decrease to the point where you do a liver flush and no stones come out. If you can do a liver flush and no stones come out, you're great. Yeah. But if you do a liver flush and they're small, then you're in a good place. But if you're doing a liver flush and they're coming out big, then yeah, that's a lot of toxicity. And if you're doing a liver flush and you've done it and you're not seeing anything, then there's something on the process that you're not doing properly. Yeah. All right. So we do the same process again the next day. All right. So you'd have to watch the replay, because remember that on the first day, you do the Epsom salt at 7 p.m. with the water, and then again at 8 p.m. That's going to help loosen everything up. Then at 9 and 10, you're taking the olive oil with the citrus juice. Then you're going straight to bed, rolling up on your right side, curling up, put your knees near to your chest. Don't move for 20 minutes. You'll hear the stones rumbling. Don't move for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, if you do need to go toilet, you can go toilet. If you do feel sick, you can chew on a piece of ginger. Then just sleep until 6 a.m. At 6 a.m., you take the Epsom salt with water again. And then after that, the flush should start. If it doesn't start, you've got one of two options. Before 8 a.m., you can have a big fruit breakfast, melons, bananas, papaya, and trust me, after that, the flush will start. Or you can have the Epsom salt with water again at 8 a.m. Yeah, and then see how that goes. Now, I'd still want people to call in and just tell me your experience, because again, I know a lot of people are watching this and saying, nah, man, that don't sound too good. I wouldn't mind if at least two people, someone raise their hand and share a good experience, and someone raise their hand and share a bad experience, just so we're balancing it out. Yeah, just a good experience and a bad experience. Good experience, you just done it and it weren't that bad, it weren't that bad. Because if it's just coming from me, then people are going to be, I don't know. But if they're hearing loads of people say, yeah, I've done it, or I've done it a couple of times, don't worry, it's okay, it's good, then you're helping people out here, family. All right, Carol, you can unmute your mic, sis.
Good evening, Leon. This is the first time. I'm type 2 diabetic, and I take insulin. So I'm wondering, can I still take the insulin, but don't take the tablets to do the flush?
Still take the insulin, yeah?
Yes, yes, I'm insulin dependent.
Okay. And how often do you have to take the insulin? Is it
3 times a day?
3 times a day. Mm-hmm. And you're on tablets, did you say? And you're on medication?
Yes, often like cholesterol, and another one.
What I'd suggest, sis,
Yes,
is that you get in contact with Natel, because Natel, she's more health professional, where with that side of things, like the medication. Anytime it comes onto medication, family, I can't really comment, because I know that there's contraindications to the medication, and the contraindications are usually the stuff that I promote.
Yes,
that makes sense. So me promoting liver flushes, and me promoting detox teas, and me promoting a raw food diet, a natural plant-based diet, and all that, it ends up being a contraindication to the medication that a lot of us are on. Yeah. So then
I just saw someone put in Gloria Lambert to reduce the medication, the insulin. Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and thank you, Leon, regarding the vitamin D, because
Yes.
I noticed that with being diabetic, the vitamin D, you get less of it. So I'm going to try and double, because I take the vitamin D tablets anyway, but I'm going to double it, see if I can get a stronger strength.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've been amazing, because I've been
Thank you.
thinking about doing liver, and look, it just come this week. So I'm going to go through with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Yes.
sis.
Yes.
Thank you. Take
you.
care. All right. So that's another good point. But again, family, 'cause I know there's new people watching. The best way for our body to produce vitamin D is when we're out in the sun, absorbing sunlight without, a messed up liver and kidneys. So a lot of us, we go out in the sun and our liver and kidneys are messed up, or the medication's blocking our cholesterol. So then we go out in the sun and then the sun harms us. And then we finger wag at the sun saying, oh, the harmful UV rays, when really it's something happening internally that's not allowing us to interact with that amazing, energizing thing for us. Yeah, because the sun is the most important thing for our melanin, which means the sun is the most important thing for our health, for our life. And if that's the truth, family, then the easiest way to make Black people sick is to mess up their relationship with the sun. Mess up their relationship with the sun. How do you do that? Make sure that they're not drinking the right type of drink, the right type of water. So make sure they're not drinking structured water. Make sure they're drinking whatever. Make sure they're on medication, because medication is going to mess up their cholesterol. If their cholesterol's messed up, then their hormones are going to be messed up. Their whole body's messed up. Yeah. And then make sure they're not eating the right types of foods. So now we've messed up our relationship with the sun. We go out there in the sun harms us, and now we think it's the sun's fault. But yeah, it's a process. I didn't learn this all in one day. So it's going to take us a long time to realize that once we fix the internal, oh my gosh, that sun's going to be the most amazing thing to us. Once we fix the internal. So again, family, big up the people that saying that my book is a must. I believe that my book is a must. We need to know this information. But for the people that are, trying to transition from medication to, holistic health, get in contact with Natel or get in contact with myself. We can do scans for you and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So, is there anyone else? Raise your hand. And sis, Velika, if you can put the link to my book just from the website, if you can find it. Let me see what other questions we got. So we did the same process. Is green tea an alternative for bitter tea? Just as long as the tea is bitter, it's going to be really good for your liver. The tea is bitter, it's going to be really good for your liver. Yeah, so cerasee, wormwood, cascara, all that sort of stuff. Repeat the items for the flush. All right, I'll do that in a second. Can we use Epsom salt like supplement in magnesium? I didn't know we could drink it that way. Yeah. So the Epsom salt is the magnesium. Yeah. So that's going to help to loosen everything up. How would you know if you still have stones after the flush? Yeah, you're not. You could only go by how you feel. So some people, and that's a good question, because some people, after they've done the liver flush, they feel amazing. They feel absolutely amazing after they've done the liver flush. Yeah. Some people, they still feel terrible. So sometimes it takes them the next day. So let's say you started on a Friday, the flush happened on the Saturday. Some people still feel terrible all the way up to Saturday evening. And then Sunday now they start feeling better. Or Sunday they still feel sick. If that's the case, then you might still have stones up in there. So yeah, that might be the point where you think about maybe doing an enema. A lemon water enema would be so powerful. Lemon water enema, or get the parasite cleanse, get the combo cleanse, and just cleanse out your colon. Yeah, cleanse out your colon straight afterwards. All right. Is that it for questions? If you often, will it be of benefit? Or can it create other issues? So I think the question is, if you do it often, if you do the liver flush often, will it be of benefit or will it create other problems? You kind of have to go with how you feel, yeah? Kind of have to go with how you feel, because I was doing it often because I felt like I needed to. I knew that my liver was very, very toxic. So I was doing it often, and I was just literally waiting to see where the stones were very small. So I wanted to make sure that the stones were small, because when they first were coming out, they were coming out quite big. So I just wanted to make sure that the stones were small. So I knew that the liver might not be 100%, but it's improving. Yeah. But once a year, people say how often? Once a year at least. Can you imagine? And this is another reason why I like doing it as a group. So VIP members, by the way, VIP members, you're going to get sent the email with regards to when we're looking to do it as a group. Yeah, as a group. So we all do it together. And there's power in that, because then we can share our experiences and that sort of stuff. Yeah. But once a year, especially if we're not thinking about this sort of stuff, we can do that once a year. And it may not reset everything, but at least if we're doing at least that once a year, then we've got something going where we know we're kind of resetting the liver. People who want to take that next step, twice a year. Do I still pass stones? Yeah, I haven't done the liver flush in a little while, because yeah, there was years where I was doing it again once a month, and then once I stopped passing stones, then I stopped it. But again, like I say, we live in an obesogenic environment. We live in an environment that literally promotes an unhealthy lifestyle to us in various ways, not just food, in various ways. We consume junk everywhere, junk media, junk news, junk music, junk everything. So it's all having an effect on us. And plus stress, living in the UK, the stress, being in part of the system and that sort of stuff, all has an effect. And then medication messing up our biochemistry and that sort of stuff. So a lot of people, when it comes on to them doing it, they'll do it, it'll be successful. But again, we're still living in the environment, so you got to do it again, and then you'll still see stones coming out, and you're probably thinking, blah, how many times do I have to do this? I've still got stones coming out. You might have to think about, changing your environment, And that's why, family, you should come to our raw melanin retreat. Change your environment for at least 2 weeks, yeah? And come chill with us in Jamaica, where we can educate you on how, the foods that we really should be consuming, the lifestyle that we really should be living, and that sort of stuff. It's going to be an amazing retreat, family. Actually, before we finish up, let me just go over that. Any other questions, let me know. But we're finishing up now, family. Just want to go over that. So yeah, the people that are really thinking about taking the next step after the liver flush, get in contact with Natel, book your health program. She'll literally change your life. Yeah, literally change your life. And then for those of you who are coming to the raw melanin retreat, it'll be in Jamaica. Learn how to make delicious raw food meals, juices, smoothies, enjoy beach access, spa treatment, sound baths, relax and recharge your melanin at this one-of-a-kind retreat. It's a retreat where we'll have a private beach, round-trip airport transfers, delicious raw food meals, unlimited coconut water, daily yoga and guided meditation, raw food meal prep demos and gut health workshops, sound baths and vibrational healing experiences, island excursion, beach spa day, loads of stuff, family, loads of stuff. So go to the link there, it's in the chat, check it out. If you have any questions, get in contact with us. We've got discounts available for those people who book quickly, yeah? And speaking of discounts, VIP members, you know that you get all of our courses that are on our site for free. The next course coming up is the Hidden Science of Healing Herbs. For my VIP members, we're going to be doing the Hidden Science of Healing Herbs. That course is going to be starting in 2 weeks' time. So you guys will get an email of when that's going to be starting. And again, VIP members get that course for free. And we just completed the Hidden Science and Natural Remedies. So if this is your first time watching a Hidden Science Academy webinar, if you become a VIP member, you get all of unlimited access to all of these courses for free. Yeah, and it's very affordable to become a VIP member. You can either subscribe monthly or yearly. You get access to all of these powerful replays. With this course, we literally went through all of the diseases that they say that we suffer from: type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, eczema, asthma, gut issues, all of that sort of stuff. We went through all of it. Sleep issues, eye issues, glaucoma, all that sort of stuff. And we gave you natural remedies for all of them. And if you're a VIP member, you can download those videos and just have them in your library, share them with your family, that sort of stuff. So to become a VIP member, just go to the hiddenscienceacademy.com/register. Again, very affordable. You can join up monthly or yearly. You have unlimited access to all of those very valuable courses. Yeah. By the way, you also get unlimited access to my e-learning course, the Hidden Science of Black Holistic Health e-learning course. That's on the website as well. So you just work your way through it. It's quite an extensive course, so it might take you a little bit of time to work your way through it, but very powerful information on that. And each month I do a podcast. I call it Marshall's Melanin Podcast. So for those of you who really want to learn about melanin, you can just sign up to my podcast. So if my sister can post the link to this, bit.ly/melanin podcast. We do it every month, the first of each month. So the next one's going to be Monday. Monday is the 1st of May, I think. So we're doing it on Monday. We're going to be talking about melanin and fertility this Monday, family. So if you haven't signed up already, sign up to my podcast, where we're going to be talking about melanin and fertility. It's going to blow you away, family. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Melanin and fertility. That's this Monday. Yeah. All right. Oh, and I'm starting to put all of my podcasts on YouTube now. So if you haven't seen them before, I'll give you the link so you can watch the previous one, so you can catch up on where we are. So let me just do that before we get out of here. All right. So if you've never seen any of my podcasts before, there's the YouTube link. You can check out all the previous ones. I think we've done 24 or something like that. You can check out all 24 episodes right there. And last question before we get out of here. Let me see. How are the 2 parasite cleanse herbs used? When you purchase the package, you get sent a PDF as well that breaks down exactly how to use them. The PDF is sent to you by Natel. So any questions, you can just reply to Natel and she'll be able to tell you how to use them. But it's very straightforward. It's all explained in the PDF. So once you purchase the parasite cleanse combo, it comes with a PDF and then you just follow the instructions. What is mullein leaf? That's just another herb. You can use that for your lungs. It's really good for opening up your lungs. All right, family. Thank you for joining. Thank you for staying right to the end. I hope you learned something new. Yeah. Big up the people that are going to be joining me on Monday for my melanin pod class. It's going to be mind-blowing. We're talking about melanin and fertility. Remember, family, we've got our raw melanin retreat. Really think about that. You're going to learn some amazing stuff on that retreat. Plus, you're going to be in a natural habitat, you know, the sun, the charged up foods, all of that sort of stuff. It's going to be a life-changing experience. For those of you who want to take the next step after doing the liver flush, you're really dedicated to changing your life, changing your health, get in contact with Natel and get those health programs popping off. Yeah. As always, family, really appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and enjoy the sun. You know, try not to complain about the sun. Enjoy the sun whilst it's there for the people, especially for the people in the UK. Try not to complain about it. Enjoy the sun. and I will see you all very soon. Monday, my podcast. Yeah. Take care, everyone. Bless. 111. Take care.